Please remain standing for the invocation given by Chaplain Munoz.
Let us pray. Precious and loving God, we come before you today with great jubilee in our hearts and souls to present to you and to the families these outstanding young men and women who are no longer trainees but airmen in the United States Air Force. We stand here with greater respect for the disciplines instilled in them at every level. Physical discipline, to help them meet the demands and challenges of defending our great nation. Emotional discipline, to help them make correct and responsible choices and decisions. Social discipline, to lead them in respecting the value and worth of others, to respect their heritage, their culture, recognizing that it is our unique differences that bind us together and make us strong. Spiritual discipline, to respect and support another's right to believe as they choose and to internalize the truth that all men are created equal, to prepare them to be spiritually fit and honorable as they take the oath to support and defend the Constitution of this great nation. Loving God, fill these young men with the spirit of wisdom, understanding, and fidelity. Lord, let the joy of this wonderful celebration fill our hearts with a renewed sense of hope and unity among us. In your most holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Munoz. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's Basic Military Training Graduation Parade. We would like to introduce our distinguished guests, beginning with the host for today's ceremony, the Commander, Air Force Basic Military Training, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, Colonel William Fisher, accompanied by his wife, Jamie. The Superintendent, Air Force Basic Military Training, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, Chief Master Sergeant Chris Simpson. Although time does not permit us to introduce all of our distinguished guests, the 37th Training Wing is proud to welcome each of you. We hope you enjoy today's ceremony. The airmen who will pass a review today have completed a demanding 7.5-week program that provides Air Force units throughout the world with trained airmen. Part of this training includes the time-proven concepts of military customs and traditions, of which this parade is a vital part. All graduating airmen will also march over the Enlisted Heroes Walk. They will lead the way for the thousands of airmen that will follow, all reflecting on our enlisted heritage, tradition of honor, and our legacy of valor. Our Commander of Airmen is Master Sergeant Katrina Colvin, Instructor Supervisor 319th Training Squadron. Colonel Fisher will review today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. 737th Training Group, United States Air Force, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas. Subject, third quarter, first place parade streamer. The first place parade streamer is awarded to the 321st Training Squadron for excellence in parade competition during the period of 1 July through 30 September 2016. Signed, William Fisher, Colonel, United States Air Force. Seven 37th Training Group, United States Air Force, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas. Subject, third quarter, first place retreat streamer. The first place retreat streamer is awarded to the 324th Training Squadron for excellence in retreat competition during the period of 1 July through 30 September 2016. Signed, William Fisher, Colonel, United States Air Force.
March the command in review.
Stand. Order. Halt. Stand. Change post. Halt. Indian Squadron. Order.
gentlemen, the graduating airmen passing in review today represent a portion of the 38,000 recruits who will complete basic military training this year. The 737 training group provides all recruits the essential military training to become motivated members of the enlisted corps of the greatest air force in the world. The military training instructors are responsible for the indoctrination, development, and discipline of the airmen. They have dedicated endless hours to ensure all training objectives are met. Today's graduates have proven through academic studies, military training, physical training, and the development of teamwork that they are ready to take their place in the United States Air Force. The flights you have viewed today are a representation of the enlisted force. Each flight represents an enlisted member of the Air Force who has embodied our core values and contributed to its heritage. As our graduates turn left onto the bomb run to pass in review, they will march over the Enlisted Heroes Walk. The airmen recognized on the pavers have been awarded our nation's highest honors, representing heroic and unselfish actions as members of the United States Armed Air Force in armed conflict, including present-day operations in Afghanistan. They include 7 Medal of Honor, 26 Air Force Crosses, and 173 Silver Stars awarded for bravery during encounters with hostile enemy combatants. These enlisted heroes serve to inspire all airmen to execute their duties courageously and with honor in their service to this great nation. Armed with a knowledge of our past, the airmen will exit the Heroes Walk by marching over a blue line, signifying their ascension into the greatest air power in the world. Musical support for this morning's ceremony has been provided by the 737 Training Group's Drum and Bugle Corps, Murray Flight from the 321st Training Squadron. Performing today under the direction of Master Sergeant Sherry Wynn, hometown Chattanooga, Tennessee. These airmen are also in basic military training, but have been hand-selected to perform for ceremonies of this type. We would like for you to notice our national, state, and territorial flags. As these flags pass in review, please stand and render the appropriate courtesies for our national flag. Once the flags have passed in review, please be courteous of others and be seated in order to allow all our guests the opportunity to view the flights as they pass in review. Now passing in review, our Commander of Airmen is Master Sergeant Katrina Colvin, Instructor Supervisor, 319th Training Squadron, hometown, Fayetteville, North Carolina. From the 321st Training Squadron, the Drum and Bugle Corps, representing Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force Number 14, Murray Flight, led by Master Sergeant Shakima Chambers, hometown, Angela, Virginia, and Technical Sergeant Christopher Long, hometown, Antioch, California. From the 331st Training Squadron, representing a Medal of Honor recipient, Smith Flight, led by Technical Sergeant DeMarcus Fournay, hometown Little Rock, Arkansas. From the 323rd Training Squadron, representing an Air Force Combat Action Medal recipient, Blue Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Michael Caceres, hometown Tampa, Florida. From the 323rd Training Squadron, representing Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force Number 16, Roy Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Philip Bocat, hometown Rockford, Illinois. The squadron selected as the color guard is from the 324th Training Squadron, led by Master Sergeant Matthew Darmach, hometown Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The flights selected to carry our national, state, and territorial flags are from the 323rd Training Squadron, representing Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force Number 17, Cody Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Gilberto Wilson, hometown Killeen, Texas, and Technical Sergeant Donald Williams, hometown Scottsboro, Alabama. Squadron Commander is Master Sergeant Skylar Hunt, military training instructor, hometown Ocean Springs, Mississippi. From the 321st Training Squadron, representing Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force Number 9, Jennifer Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Cindria Mizell, hometown Cocoa, Florida. From the 321st Training Squadron, representing Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force Number 12, Benton Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Lucas Bartles, hometown Belgium, Nebraska. From the 324th Training Squadron, representing the 1st Female Combat Arms Major Command Program Manager, Pratt Waldo Flight, led by Master Sergeant Caden Brooks, hometown St. George, Utah. From the 324th Training Squadron, representing Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force Number 2, Harlow Flight, led by Staff Sergeant Charles Bell, hometown Bethesda, Maryland. From the 324th Training Squadron, representing Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force Number 15, McKinley Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Levi Huck, hometown Holland, Indiana. From the 324th Training Squadron, representing Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force Number 11, Campanelli Flight, led by Master Sergeant Jacqueline Medina, hometown Plainfield, Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the United States Air Force song. last 7.5 weeks, the airmen before you have transformed from civilians into motivated, disciplined warrior airmen with the foundation to serve in the world's greatest Air Force. Once these airmen leave basic military training, they will enter Airman's Week, where they will develop their critical thinking skills and further personalize the Air Force core values. They will continue on to technical training to learn the skills needed to perform in one of over 130 Air Force specialties. They will then move on to serve at one of over 84 Air Force bases around the world or work directly with our sister services. As these airmen move on to technical training, they will continue to focus on adapting to military requirements, achieving occupational proficiency, and learning how to be highly productive members of the Air Force. These men and women will prepare for increased responsibilities and must ensure they are trained, qualified, and ready to deploy and operate in an expeditionary environment while maintaining home station readiness. Of the hundreds of thousands of American citizens that enter the workforce each year, less than 1% have joined the ranks of the U.S. military, and an even smaller percentage in the United States Air Force. You should be proud of their accomplishments thus far. The airmen before you have reached a milestone in their Air Force journey and will require your continued support to assist them in their future endeavors. These airmen are the future of our Air Force and will pave the way for future generations of airmen as we continue to fly, fight, and win. We would like to take a moment to congratulate all of our squadron honor graduates as well as their families. Basic military training honor graduates distinguish themselves by being ranked in the top 10% of all airmen graduating in their class. The exceptional personal dedication, integrity, service before self, and sustained excellence these airmen displayed throughout basic military training earned them this outstanding distinction. As the airmen march forward for the group of enlistment, we would like to thank the families and friends who are here in support of the airmen graduating today. Your words of encouragement help motivate these airmen through 7.5 weeks of basic military training. On behalf of the United States Air Force and Air Force Basic Military Training, we extend our thanks to the many families and friends of American airmen for their support of your airmen and the greatest air power the world has ever known. Colonel Fisher will now come forward and address our graduated airmen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me hear it. How do they look? Now, ladies and gentlemen, in just a few minutes, the men and women standing before you are going to promise to do amazing things for their country. But before we do that, I want to thank you once again for joining us in Military City, USA on an incredible fall morning in Texas to the gateway to the United States Air Force. You know, we call Lackland Air Force Base the gateway to the United States Air Force for a really good reason. Ladies and gentlemen, you are at a special place for our country. Because in this special place, every enlisted member of the United States Air Force passes through this parade field. So this is a special moment for our Air Force, a special moment for the men and women standing in front of you, and I'm so glad that you could join us in this incredible moment in their personal and professional lives. So thank you so much for coming from near, from far, watching on the web. We're so excited that you could join us. We're so excited because we know at the Gateway Wing that you have trusted us with your most precious treasure. And that is a responsibility and a task that we take very, very seriously at Lackland Air Force Base. And so it's a mission for the United States Air Force that is both humbling and exciting at the same time. Ladies and gentlemen, let there be no doubt that we build the best air and space and cyber force on the planet, one airman at a time. And I'm so proud to introduce to you our nation's newest airman. So thank you so much for coming and joining us. So ladies and gentlemen, there's a very, very special group of people with us in the audience today. And I'd like to recognize them for just a second. Could I have all my veterans that are standing in the audience stand up and be recognized, please? So to my veterans in the audience, you need to know this. We are standing on the shoulders of giants today. We could not be here without your tradition of honor and your legacy of valor. Our hope is that the airmen that we are producing today meet your standards. And I think you'll agree we did a pretty good job. What do you think, veterans? So thank you so much to our veterans for joining us. It means a lot to us currently serving. It means a lot to the people that are joining the United States Air Force today. So thank you very much. So one last word of thanks to our military training instructors. Ladies and gentlemen, MTIs make helicopter parents look lazy. These instructors are what the professionalism of the Air Force is all about. And so please, once again, if you meet any MTI during your stay with us, during open house, during your tours of the base, or any time that you're off base this weekend, please give them their thanks. These instructors build our Air Force, and we're so proud that their pride, their passion, and their professionalism have gotten these men and women before you today to this very parade ground, this very special place. So one more word of thanks for our MTI. And now, to our graduating airmen. Airmen, we are so proud and excited that you've made it this far. We know the hard work that you've gone under. We've tested your mind, your body, and your spirit. And we're so excited that you've passed the test. But you know what? We're excited for a second reason. We're excited for another reason because we know what's in your future. We know that you will do incredible things for yourselves, for your wingmen, for your Air Force, and for your country. Remember all that pride, that passion, that professionalism that we've been instilling with you over the last several weeks. Hold on to that, because that is what makes our Air Force the best Air Force on the planet. And so it's at times like these that remind me of an old proverb. And the proverb goes like this. When the going gets heavy and the load gets more weighty, let me not ask for a lighter load. Let me instead ask for broader shoulders. And so, Airmen, over the last several weeks that you've been with us, I hope that my MTIs and I have helped you build broader shoulders. Because you've read the headlines out there, your family and friends have read the headlines out there, and people like the United States Air Force, airmen just like you, exist to make those headlines sound just a little bit better. We are so proud that you've made it to this very special moment in this very special place. But really, at this point, I only have one question left for you. Are you ready to join the ranks of the world's greatest Air Force? Ladies and gentlemen, it sounds like they're ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Colonel Fisher will now administer the oath of enlistment.
Please raise your right hand and say after me. I state your name.
I, Jeff
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States
and I will obey the orders of the President of the United States
and the orders of the officers appointed over me
and the orders of the officers appointed over me,
according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Airmen, and welcome to the world's greatest Air Force.
Thank you, Colonel Fisher. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as our newest airmen recite the Airman's Creed and remain in place for the departure of our official party. I am an American airman.
I am a warrior. I have answered my nation's call. I am an American airman. My mission is to fly, fight, and win. I am faithful to a proud heritage, a tradition of honor, and a legacy of valor. I am an American airman, guardian of freedom and justice. My nation's sword and shield. In defense and victory, I have my country with my life. I am an American airman. Free and warrior.
Finch and Smith flight. The next two flights are from the 323rd Training Squadron, Blue and Roy flight. They are followed by Vinegar and Bacon flight from the 321st Training Squadron. The last four flights are from the 324th Training Squadron, Pratt Waldo, Harlow, McKinley, and Campanelli flight. Airmen in the state flag mast, Cody flight, from the 323rd Training Squadron, will be released to the